Therefore, a spontaneous knowledge is a spontaneous knowledge because it is spontaneous knowledge. That's all. Next. Next. The supermind is again because it acts and creates. Now you remember this. The creative power of the entire universe is the supermind's creation. The higher minds also can't create. When I say higher mind, I mean the higher levels. The higher levels also can create when they enter the supermind level by degradation. And after the degradation of supermind, the ignorance starts. The mind, the vital, and the Annamaya are ignorance because it can't have the complete truth. Next. The supermind in the lower nature is present most strongly as an intuition. And now, it is possible to understand supermind with mind. But then you should understand it as an intuition with a gap in between. A tuition from inside. Let us see what Sri Aurobindo says about it. Next. The intuitive mind. Now you understood about this supermind, the qualities: oneness, identity, totality of knowledge, and creative ability. That is the character of supermind. But we have only the Manomaya Purusha. Then how, with this mind, can we understand the supermind? Sri Aurobindo says, you can intuit supermind. It can't be taught from outside by verbal things and that. But you can intuit it. How? He says here. In the first place, supermind will not be for him a native power always enjoyed. So the first thing you should remember is intuition is not a continuity of consciousness. Occasion is.
Slightly 2 slides behind that. Now,
go back.
And the identity and oneness. Last slide. Now, I think it will come, I don't know, subsequently that supramental sense. There is a discussion also here and also in Life Divine that
we will get the slide.
Pragyana,
Sangyana.
Sangyana and
Yes.
Jnana.
Right.
These 4 aspects, before it comes to separative stage of overmind, they are in
the degrees of the supermind. It comes.
I find mention of
No, here it is not. No, you will get it in the next chapter after this. The grades of supermind.
But 3 of them get reflected here.
Naturally. Even supermind is reflected in overmind as intuition. That is where, until and unless you have a mind, you cannot go to the supermind. We have the mind, but we don't know that we have a goal of a supermind. And this is his best contribution to humanity. To prove scientifically and the various graded steps of reaching supermind. This is what he is saying. This intuition will not be a native power. Sometimes he will be intuitive, sometimes he will not be intuitive. And then, without interruption, but a secret potentiality which has to be discovered, and one for which there is no organs in his present physical or mental system. This is where the Rajavidya and the Rajaguhyam word is used in the 9th chapter. A kingly knowledge and a kingly secret, because you don't have an organ to appreciate it. But the mind is slow, plastic, that it can intuit it. You have to understand the difference between intuition and the organ of supermind proper. Next. The soul climbing above a certain critical line of change. This is important, a certain critical line of change. When you go on reading and reading and reading, thing which was not clear before becomes clear. In mathematics especially, the teacher explains a problem. The student says, I don't understand. Again the same process is repeated because the teacher can't change the formula. But when he hears it for 3 or 4 times, he understands. That is, a certain critical line of change sees all its former operations as an inferior and ignorant action, and has to effect another kind of working which sets out from a different starting point and has quite another kind of initiation of the energy of the being. This is where we fail. We go on thinking with a mindset of differentiation. What you have to initiate? Another kind of thinking process. This in science they have done. Electron is matter, they say, and they say electron is wave. Wave nature is completely different, it is continuous something. And particle nature is like a particle. They are two different things. But when we talk about the particle nature, the formulas are different. When you talk about the wave nature, the formulas are different. Similarly here also, for the mind nature and the intuitive nature, the mind nature you can say the particle nature of electron. The intuitive nature you can say the supramental plane nature, reflecting in mind. So this change of thinking of the words must come. You use the same words. In science we use the same words. But when in science we say pressure, when in English we say pressure, understanding behind it. Next. The problem of this conversion resolves itself at first into a passage through a mediatory status, and by the help of one power already at work in the human mind, which can recognize as something supramental in its nature, or at least in its origin, the faculty of intuition. So in the mind, the supramental faculty is captured as intuition. Now you should know what intuition is. All scientific discoveries are intuitions. And all the scientific discoveries were done while they were sleeping. That is why when I was a lecturer, I always used to tell the people, sleep, because all scientific discoveries were done when they were asleep. But you should sleep when you are tired of the experimentations. Because when you are tired of the experimentations, the logical mind sleeps. Then the intuitive mind dawns. And if you are not tired, the intuition does not come. That is why you have to go on reading and reading and reading and reading till you are tired. And once you are tired mentally, the intuition comes. And how can we know it, that intuition has dawned? By its superior efficiency, light, direct inspiration and force. You will just feel it. Every scientist, when he understands a clue for his discovery, he always says it dawned on him. He recognized it. He didn't try for it. You understand the difference between recognition and trying? Trying is an effort. Recognition is just seeing. Next. Now, what are we supposed to do to reach the supermind? We have a clue. You tire the mind with the theoretical data so much that intuition dawns. Then what you should do? The first is to extend the action of the intuition and make it more constant. Right? That is the first step. Second step. Next.